Okay, y'all, it's Courtney with C. Granny Bee Quilting, and I have just purchased a brand new sewing machine. I can't wait to show it to y'all. So this is my little handheld singer, and you may be asking, well, what do you need with that? So I'm about to show you. So follow me as we unbox this little baby. And I have to confess, I did already take it out of the box. But I thought it would be fun because when people do their long arm machine videos, they say the unboxing of my machine. So here we go. So I've unboxed it, simple as that. Pull it out. And here's the wonderful thing about this little machine is that it actually has 2 threads and it makes a perfect stitch. It's got a bobbin thread in the bottom, right here, and a bobbin thread on top. And it's a normal size bobbin for a normal size machine, a number 15 metal bobbin. And I did actually try it out already, as I said. And because I didn't want to make a video about something that didn't work. Why would you want to do that, right? Got your little thread cutter right there to cut off your excess thread. And the reason that I bought this machine was because sometimes people will bring me a quilt that doesn't have a border on it, maybe, and their piecing goes right to the edge, and when you get it, you're loading it on the machine and you start stitching on it and you get part way down, and because they haven't back tacked their piecing on the edges, what happens is you can get a seam pop loose, and maybe it's a 1/2 inch, but then you're standing there with a little needle and thread trying to fix it. Well, this is my answer to that. This little handheld singer runs on 4 AA batteries that go in right here. You have extra bobbin storage here and a little thing where you can use a full spool of thread if you want to, but to me that would be awkward, so I'm sticking with the little bobbin. Up here is your wheel to turn your needle, your bobbin winder, your thread tensioner, and it only comes with one kind of foot, which is this little foot right here, and as I said, a thread cutter. When I got it and I tried it out on a scrap of material, it sewed a stitch that needed the tension adjusted. I just tweaked the tension just a tiny bit, and now it sews an actual perfect stitch, as good as any large machine. It is battery operated, as I noted before, but you can buy a 6-volt converter to go here, but I want it to be battery operated because, like I said, I needed something handheld with nothing in my way for mending a little seam while my quilt is still on the Longarm quilting machine. So that being said, I hope I've showed you all the little details. Oh, it does have 2 different settings. You can put it on handheld, and in handheld, when you squeeze the trigger, it's gonna only stitch as long as you're holding the trigger. When it's in lock, which you want to put it in lock when you're not using it, because it's easy to bump this trigger and run over your finger or something. So, but when you put it in desktop mode, and you push this button, even when you let go of the button, it'll keep running until you push the button again. So that's kind of a nice little feature. So anyway, I'm going to pause this video for a minute while I get something set up to show you how it works. Be right back. And so here I am. In this case, it's not even a split seam that's the problem. I am appliquing this giant dahlia onto a background as I go on my Longarm quilt machine, and I've been appliquing it down, and I got down to the bottom and realized, because I didn't want to waste a whole piece behind the whole thing right here, I had cut strips and sewn them to the top, sides, and bottom that I was going to quilt it to. And looky here, right here, I hope you can see this kind of light on light, but right here where it comes together, when I get to the bottom looky here, ladies. I'm going to, or gentlemen too, if you're watching this, I'm going to come up short. That little bitty spot right there. And so I had just a little bit of this fabric left over, and I've cut myself a little square, and I'm going to use that new baby machine to put this in. I've already done it over here because I tested it before I videoed it for you guys. Here's where I've added in my little square, and now when you pull this down, guess what? You're not even going to notice maybe that tiny little bit right there. But see, now at least there's the right fabric behind it. So we're going to come over here, and I'm going to get my husband to hold this camera so that I can show y'all just how I did it with the baby sewing machine. So I am going to take my handy dandy little Singer here, and I'm going to put it where it needs to be. I have put a little pin in the fabric right here, but I'm going to take it out before I get to it just to hold it in that place till I get it where I want it to be. And I'm going to start stitching and stitch this little extra piece of fabric in here to cover the little mistake I made in my backing piece. I'm going to pull that pin out now that I've taken a couple of stitches, and I'm going to bring this along here like that, and there you have it. So that quickly I have been able to put a little piece in and not have to unload my quilt, and I can bring it up here and cut it with my thread cutter, and voila, there you have it. My little piece sewn in, my little patch where I come up short. And yeah, so as you can see, I don't know if you can see this, but it made perfect stitches. Try to zoom in on a little bit there for you, but perfect. Not perfectly straight, but for my first time, it's not bad. The stitches are really good. And then I'm going to show y'all what it looks like when I flip it over, trim a few threads, and there you have it. I have my little piece in place. I'll iron it down with my iron, and I'll flip my dahlia back over, and looky there. When I go to applique that on, it's going to work beautifully to have that little piece behind there. Happy quilting!